Funada password. Password could have been here. Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head. As we are diving into game number 1 of our second series of the night, and here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the cranky duckling himself, El Condor. The Peruvian Zerg player, it is Ryu. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss player. He is blue, representing Genesis Gaming. It is SabeRLighT. Beautiful, mate, beautiful. All right. So I have to wonder here, as we are diving into this series, what happens to the North American bonus? Because there are no North American players. Will that just not get paid out, or will that just get added to the overall prize pool? I'm curious. I'm curious about that. Not gonna lie. I don't know. Maybe Eddie can provide some answers, since Eddie is out there. I do know that, again, signups are low for this tournament, but that is because, like, it's not at our usual time. Usually it is on Saturdays in America, in the land of the Americas. But today it's on a Sunday, so, again, I'm sure a lot of people aren't used to this tournament being on this day. And, yeah, maybe it wasn't advertised as well as it otherwise could have been, so feels bad, man. But regardless, to the players who actually did show up and who were here, mate, they're looking to make some bank. They're looking to be champions, man. We'll see. We'll see how we go as Ryu. This is his warm-up match. Fun fact, I was talking to Ryu before the tournament started, and he's like, "Oh, mate, I haven't practiced since Sentimiento Latino." And I'm like, what? He's like, "I've been playing Age of Empires." I'm like, He's like, "I haven't played since Sentimiento Latino," which has been a couple of days now. So he's feeling a little bit rusty. So this, he's got to prepare. He's got to prepare for the finals. He was messaging me and he said that he's a little bit afraid of advancing. He's like, "I don't know, man." Oh god. So hopefully SabeRLighT can really take it to him. We'll see. We shall see. As SabeRLighT is going for a Stargate opener. Again, I haven't casted too much of SabeRLighT in recent times, so I wonder how he will perform here against Ryu. Obviously he is the heavy underdog, but regardless, you know, we want to see what he's made of, right? How can he perform here under pressure when you're up against a pro player like this, when you're up against a top 4 Latin American player? That is the question. So far, these things actually slip in. They're being a little bit annoying, but they do manage to get a full scout of the main base. Ryu confirms that it is a Stargate opener, but oh, we actually don't have a Void Ray first. And the Lings, will scout this. Just barely. So the Oracle's going to be zooming across them. I kind of like this from SabeRLighT, especially on Blackburn. Blackburn, of course, has a very short rush distance by ground. So is it worth going Void Ray first to clear out an Overlord when you could maybe hit faster with an Oracle and potentially deal economic damage? Unfortunately, this was scouted, not just by this Overlord, but by the Lings earlier, so the spores are finishing up. This Oracle, it may catch some players off guard, but not Ryu, as, again, he saw everything. Queens are in position. Oh, he's got to try and get one. Oh, two. 2 drones, not bad. Not bad as long as he keeps the Oracle alive. Jesus Christ. Could have been worse, but he took a lot of damage. Like, again, it's not going to take too many more hits to finish off this Oracle. SabeRLighT has to be oh so careful with this Oracle as he does traverse around the map. Going to confirm that there's a third base. Not third base has already been seen. Meanwhile, Ryu is going for pneumatized carapace, which is oh so important. Why? Because we don't have a follow-up with the Stargate. We don't even have a Twilight Council. This madman is going for a Robo. Who does this? Typically, you know, double Stargate Void Ray, or you're going to Charge Dots, or you're going to Glaive Adepts, but no, it is a Robo instead. So this is going to be scouted. The Overlord dips in, and now Ryu can respond. And what do you need, mate? You need roaches. God, you need that ground army. Meanwhile, the Adepts are looking to try and shade in. There are a decent amount of them, but the Lings are on top of them. Do they commit? And they do commit to the shade. They're in a decent position, but one of the Adepts immediately gets taken out. The rest of the Queens are going to be able to chase all of this down. But oh my god, look how many workers are going down. 7 drones. 7 drones for 4 Adepts. Well worth it here for SabeRLighT. He's dealing a lot of economic damage. But again, the problem is that he has been scouted, so Ryu is aware of the Immortals, of the Void Rays, of the +1. The +1 is a little bit interesting to me. This is kind of like the kitchen sink. Because of that, this isn't the most efficient build. Ryu, because he's going to be going for everything. Immortals, +1, and eventually, I imagine, Charge Lots, or even Blink Stalkers. Boy. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a Ling run by here. One Adept does fall. Can he get the second? Up, up! Oh, does not go for the second Adept. Okay, at least SabeRLighT was able to keep his mirror line safe and sound. Oh no! And, ooh, interesting. Ryu. Bold move. Bold move. He skips roaches and goes straight into a Hydra Den. This is kind of risky. This is actually very risky. Especially without a Baneley Nest. If he's going pure Ling Hydra against Charge Lots, you don't want to be the Hydra player. Hydras just evaporate. They just melt to Charge Lots. Unless you can hit a timing. Because of the opener, because the Twilight Council was delayed, and because Charge is delayed, and the gateways are only just now finishing up, like, maybe there is a window here where Ryu can deal some damage. Maybe. I'm very concerned, though. Oh boy, Void Ray shows up. He does manage to kill one of the spores. But these Hydras are on the way, and he can hit a very nice timing with +1 and with Muscular Augments. Or Hydra Speed. Oh my god, he's going for Hydra drops! What? Let's go! Oh my god. Who is Infanson? Infanson has been competing for a long time now. Infanson. When did Infanson start? UA Expert. He was in Copa America number 2017. Yeah, Infanson, he's been competing for a long time. Very long time. Oh, as the Hydras are moving out here to meet the main army. Where are the Charge Lots that we were talking about? I was like, yo, you don't want to be pushing into Charge Lots, but they're just not here. There are only a handful of them. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, here we go. The Dropper Lords are coming into play. Okay, here we go, as the Overlords are going to be dropping into the main base. There is nothing here. Oh my god, it's not necessarily Hydras, but Queens? Okay, why not? Meanwhile, the Hydras, oh, they're having a hard time breaking through this. Again, pure Hydra is not going to break Charge Lot Archon. It's never going to do that. But this drop is dealing a lot of damage. Look at everything that's been depowered. And +2 is going to be denied. Ay, ay, ay. At the same time, a lot of the Hydras are actually being shaved off by these Charge Lots. Yo, if SabeRLighT commits to a counterattack, he can deal a lot of damage. Unfortunately, he doesn't. Only the Zealots move on forward, and he actually pulls back. Ah, SabeRLighT, he had the opportunity. Oh, meanwhile, the Queens, it looks like they're all going to be cleaned up. But you know what? They've dealt the damage they needed to, and behind this, the pure Hydra, even though it's not the most efficient army right now for Ryu, he's making it work. And behind this, the Lurker Den is done. Hold on. There it is. The Lurker Den is done, so you can go into those Lurkers. Jesus Christ, as the entire mineral line goes down, so does the Nexus. Oof. But this is a heavy loss. This is what I'm talking about. Every single Hydra gets picked off. Imagine if SabeRLighT had counterattacked immediately when the Hydras were getting picked off by the Zealots here in the center. Honestly, SabeRLighT could have steamrolled and maybe even won the game. Unfortunately, he was distracted by the Queens, which is understandable. But again, like, he was kind of pulled apart when it comes to his multitasking. And despite him arguably having a better army, Ryu just has the pure numbers. He now has lurkers. Only 2 of them, but still, 2 could be enough. Oh, as the Zealots, they waste their charge on the Lings, and we gotta have a full surround here. There's just not enough army supply for SabeRLight. He does have a couple of reinforcing Zealots, but the Immortals get exposed! Oh, decent micro. The Immortals just barely get picked up by the War Prism. No, Immortal, please! Oh god, as the charge, let's turn around once again. I can't believe Ryu is he's just trying to make pure Hydra work here. Like, it's going to, but it really shouldn't. Well, actually, it's not going to. My god. At the same time, the lurkers were actually harassing the gold base. 8 more probes went down. SabeRLight, he's starting to run out of money. Like, he has a bank, but he doesn't have a very good economy. So even though Ryu is trading as inefficiently as possible, and giving SabeRLight the best chance at like making a comeback happen, Ryu his macro is just on point. So it doesn't even matter. The lurkers need to borrow, they need to borrow it! Up, and just barely do manage to borrow, but there is detection here for SabeRLight. He is breaking through and he's getting on top of everything. Ay. Mate, he's doing it. SabeRLight is doing it. Oh my god. Ryu is being so stubborn. The charge lots are breaking in. He needs to get a base. Oh god, we only have a handful of Hydras left. The boys are pulled off the line. They're doing a decent job at buffering for the Hydras. I'll be honest, I think Ryu was having fun. SabeRLight gets forced back, and what's worrisome is that SabeRLight is now out of money. That massive bank that I was talking about earlier, it's gone. He barely has any minerals, he barely has any gas. He's only on 1 base economy. Sorry, 2 base economy, kind of. He's just slowly running out of steam. God, meanwhile, here we go, the final fight of the game. We have plenty of lurkers behind the Hydras this time. They're not as exposed as they once were. The Archons are being picked off one after the other, and it looks like with this, GG gets called, and Ryu takes game 1. But he almost didn't. SabeRLight, he was fighting back, and there were opportunities for him. They definitely were. Ryu being incredibly overconfident, I feel. Like, we saw how well SabeRLight was managing to fight. He was actually evening up the army supply as well, like just looking at the army graphs. He was doing well. Hold on, can I just show this? Game casting. Here. You can see the massive Hydra advantage that Ryu has, and even though SabeRLight had such a smaller army, it just traded better. And he was evening things up. Shaking my head, Ryu. Shaking my head. Failings are your friend. Or just more lurkers earlier on. Just anything. Oh, God. Alright, here we go. Game number 2. It's gonna be it's gonna be on 2,000 atmospheres. One of the older maps. But not bad. Not bad by any means. Alright, here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of of 2,000 atmospheres LE. We have the Peruvian Zerg player. He is red, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Ryu. Almost losing with Matt's Hydra. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss player. He is blue, representing Genesis Gaming. It is SabeRLight. Oh my god, I'm having like a massive nostalgia trip looking at the brackets here from 2017. There's Bairrada. There's a Mexican Ryu. There's Dastan. There's Dark Unnamed. Look at him go. There's Maker. Oh my god. How I miss it, man. Don't tell him I said this, but I miss Dastan. Dastan, por favor. Alright, here we go. We're diving into game number 2. Ryu just opening up with a hatch gas pool, nothing crazy. It was forced off location. Very interesting position for the third, not gonna lie. Yeah. Like, if I was casting any other Zerg player, I would like, yo, Queen Walk. But I don't think I've ever seen Ryu try and Queen Walk. It just hasn't happened. It's just not what he goes for. So yeah, pretty interesting. Location, I should say. As the game is slowly opening up here, I wouldn't be surprised if SabeRLighT goes for a Stargate opener. We'll see if he does the same build again, because it was honestly quite odd, right? It was Stargate into Robo, into Forge, into Twilight Council. Like, it was just a very odd build. To be fair, it almost worked, right? But, you know, his opponent was just making Mass Hydra. Yeah, we'll see if he does something similar, or we'll see if he does something a little bit more refined, a little bit more tasteful, if you will, as he does go for that Stargate opener. 2000 Atmospheres also is not a bad map for Skytoss. I don't know if SabeRLighT is the kind of player who enjoys going Skytoss, and what I will say is that if he does go for that kind of composition, like Ryu, he's amazing against that. He's one of the best in Latin America against Skytoss, so yeah, I don't know how much success SabeRLighT will have with that, but at the same time, you know, why not try? Why not? So far we have the first Void Ray coming out, this time not going for the Oracle. Again, the Oracle first in game 1, it kind of leans more towards the map that we were on. You know, Blackburn, it makes so much more sense there just because of the short rush distance. Meanwhile, going for the Void Ray instead, yeah, it's a lot more standard, it's a lot more solid. With this, he'll be able to clear up any Overlords. The problem is that the Overlord is over here in the top left, being a little bit sneaky, looking to dive in later on, and looking to avoid the Void Ray. And the rest of the Overlords are coming back home. So Ryu just avoiding as much damage as possible. Numatai's Carapace is on the way for Overlord speed, so this Overlord here can dive in despite the fact that there is a Void Ray out on the map hunting it down. And oh, he actually catches it. Wow. The Void Ray caught the Overlord. No scouting here for Ryu, and actually pretty supply blocked. My god. Beautifully done here by SabeRLighT. What's also interesting is that after this Stargate, this madman is being so greedy, he just goes for a third base. But you can do this against Ryu because Ryu isn't very aggressive as a player. So yeah, he's going to be able to get away with a fast third. There we go, +1. Air attack is on the way. We should be seeing that second Stargate. We should be seeing a second Stargate. We'll see if we get it. Oh god. As the Oracle is now going across the map. There it is. Second Stargate and a Forge. SabeRLighT is embracing the Skytoss. He's going full on Void Rays alongside shield batteries and cannons. Meanwhile, there's now an Oracle across the map. We do have Spores, and it is spotted by the Overlord, so Ryu does reposition his Queens. This Oracle shouldn't deal too much damage. Oh god, he dives in anyway. Ay, ay, ay. Does get one drone. Meanwhile, Overlord, second Overlord, is able to dive into the main base, and with this, he will see the Forge as well as both Stargates, and he will be preparing to deal with Skytoss. Oh, we actually have a Robo as well. Interesting. This is kind of fallen out of fashion, but Void Ray Disruptor, I can definitely see that working here. If he decides to go for that. I guess the reason why it's fallen out of fashion a little bit is that, I mean, disruptors are great against queens and roaches if we did see like a big queen roach push. But again, we shouldn't really be... Oh, never mind. I was like, yo, we shouldn't really be seeing that. But we see the creep highway on the way. The roaches are being dealt with. Sorry, the rocks are being dealt with. Roaches are on the way. More queens are being produced. Like, we are going to be seeing a massive ground push through the center of the map. Will it work? I don't know. I feel like we're lacking queens. Like, we only have 7 queens. When I feel like we should have a little bit more. There we go. 3 more queens are finally in production. Meanwhile, when it comes to the creep has been spotted, and this should kind of raise suspicions here for SabeRLighT. He needs to throw down more stack defense. He only has a single shield battery at the 3rd. We need cannons. That's the point of the forge. We need cannons. We need shield batteries. There we go. The natural base is being fortified, but what about the 3rd? Because honestly, if Ryu wanted to, he could just go for the 3rd, kill that, and then back off. He doesn't have to commit into the natural. Oh boy, but we shall see. The army is coming across the map. The Lings are about to show up. Which base will he go for? Roadies are doing a decent job of focusing down the Ravagers. Oh, looks like they get one. Oh, but one of the vials does land. We do have the creep highway being spread even by the Overlord. Vials are going to be connecting with the cannons. Oh, but there's still so many Void Rays. Prismatic alignment is being used. They're targeting down queen after queen, and there's barely any energy for transfuses. Overcharge putting in a lot of work here. The Void Rays are standing strong, and I'm pretty sure SabeRLighT, I think he's doing it. There's barely any queens left. Every single queen is getting picked up here. Mate, there's a reason why you almost never see Ryu do this. Like, like, we barely had any energy for transfuses. We didn't have as many queens. Like, this was very odd timing. A very odd, yeah. Just especially when it comes to the drone count as well. Like, this should have hit like a minute ago. Maybe 2. But because of that, SabeRLighT, he actually defends. He pushes away all the creep. And Ryu double expands. And this is the worrying part. SabeRLighT, he needs to be active with these Void Rays. He needs to go across the map ASAP. And do what? Deny these bases. Like, these bases are so exposed. There's no creep there. There are no queens. These Void Rays can very easily get cancels on them. And he cannot allow Ryu to get these up for free. So here we go. The Void Rays are finally moving out. They do get spotted, and Ryu does need to reposition his queens. Oh god, they're trying desperately to race the Void Rays towards the 4th base. But they're going to be a little bit too late. The Void Rays, no, you don't have to fight the queens. No, SabeRLighT, please. Oh god, almost loses a Void Ray. Okay, he does have enough time. There we go. He does cancel the 4th base. And this is why Ryu double expanded, because sure, one base is cancelled, but the other base will finish. Oof. And we have a game on our hands. Like, SabeRLighT, he's got a decent amount of Void Rays. How much did he lose? He lost 1 Void Ray. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Just look at the resources lost here. Look at all the queens falling. And SabeRLighT, he is going Void Ray Disruptor. We have a massive explosion of gateways. He's going to be going to charge ults as well. Meanwhile, Ryu is trying to recover with his tech, but he doesn't have that much going for him. He does have his hive, so he's going to be working on Vipers. That's great, but we need Lurkers more than anything. We need Hydra, Lurker, Viper, and right now we got Hydra Viper, which is a great stopgap, but it's still a little bit scary. Meanwhile, here we go. SabeRLighT, he's moving out across the map, looking to try and get a kill on the 4th base of Ryu, and it looks like he will get it. Ryu did not have enough vision out on the map. SabeRLighT doing an amazing job at just keeping Ryu on 3 bases. And Ryu can't engage this until he has energy on these Vipers. He just can't push in. Oh my god, he's even scouting with his hallucinations. Ryu isn't out of this yet because, again, he can't... Oh no! The Disruptor shots! They go off and they get a lot of damage. Meanwhile, in come the Vipers. They get yoinks on the Disruptors, but mate, it's too late. We need some Power Bombs. And there we go. 1 Parasitic Bomb. 2 do connect with the Void Rays, but it's a little bit too late. SabeRLighT is breaking on through. The Vipers are out of energy. We do have some Hydras coming out, and maybe the reinforcements are going to be enough. Oh god, it's gonna be oh so close. Meanwhile, the charge lots are rushing in as well. Ryu, he barely has anything left. He's just trying to buy a little bit of time. Has he done it? Alright, it looks like he may have. He actually saved his hatchery. Oh my god. I honestly didn't believe. He does save his hatchery. He actually, I believe he saved a couple of his Vipers? No, never mind. He lost every single one of his Vipers. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ryu's getting another base up and running. His drone count is looking pretty good. There we go. Lurker Den is done. Adaptive Balance is on the way. But he desperately needs Vipers. He's remaking one. Mate, we need more than one. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, the charges are coming in. We don't have any lurkers. Oh, okay. We do have some roaches, though. They need to get in the front line. They need to protect the Hydras, but the base goes down. Thankfully for Ryu, he did expand over here on the left-hand side of the map instead. So we do have 4 bases versus 4 bases, which is never a good thing for Zerg. Ryu needs another base up and running. He needs a 5th desperately, maybe even double expand at this point. There we go. And if Ryu is given more time, he will get a better army here, especially because SabeRLight unfortunately is kind of stuck with like a hybrid army here of ground toss and sky toss. What do we need more than anything here? Fleet Beacon. Fleet Beacon is done. We have Flux Veins. Mate, carriers. Like, when you have an opponent that's struggling to pump out Hydras and doesn't have a Spire, carriers are your best friend. Unfortunately, SabeRLight is kind of more focused on Colossus, Disruptors, Storm, Archons. This isn't necessarily bad, but this can struggle against Lurkers. Like, Lurkers with range, like, it's so difficult to push into them. There's a reason why Skytoss is considered to be the superior late game army compared to Ground Toss. Have a bit of a roach run by. It's getting some probe. It's getting some probe kills. Meanwhile, here comes the Protoss. Going to get another kill on this hatchery. I said another kill. Another. Puppy, please. Okay, there we go. Does get it. Meanwhile, the Vipers were gathering a little bit more energy. Oh my god, but these roaches are dealing an insane amount of damage. I thought that they were only going to get maybe, I don't know, 10 probes. He's got an 18. 21. Oh, and it pulls the entire army back home. 24 probes went down. Jesus Christ. To only a handful of roaches. If you're wondering why that happens, SabeRLight was maxed out. He couldn't warp in at home. He had to lose some army before he could do so. Wow, and Ryu just cripples the economy of SabeRLight. He's got his Lurkers, he's got his Hydras, he has his Vipers, he's ready for a fight. Is he ready for DTs though? Oh god, we need some power bombs! Or some yoinks, we need something! Okay, Lurkers do borrow. You see Ryu repositioning. Decent revelation. Oh my god, even better feedbacks. Vipers completely out of energy. No, the old army hockey! The DTs came back. They were doing well. Well, they were going to do well. I think we have one Viper left with energy. Oh god, meanwhile the charge lots, they're breaking forward, they're getting on top of every single one of these Lurkers, and without the Lurkers, how do you deal with the charge lots? Oh no, never mind. One Lurker survived. Oh, the storms! Oh my god. That's crazy. Oh, at the same time, we do have a single Lurker denying all the mining at the freshest base of SabeRLight. SabeRLight, though, does he turn around? He does! He turns around! He had so much momentum, especially with those storms. If he was able to hit before these Lurkers finished, maybe he could have made something happen. But instead, that Lurker draws away the attention of everything. Lurker may die, but my god, it's the real MVP. It's still dealing damage, by the way. Do we have detection? Do we not? We have an Oracle on the way. Okay, there we go. Observer shows up. Jesus. But now Ryu was remaxed. Like, he lost a lot of supply. He plummeted hard in supply in that engagement. But now he's remaxed. He has licked his wounds. He has regathered that energy. He's looking good, looking solid. We'll see how this goes. Once again, the lurkers. Oh my god, they all get revealed. They're so exposed. Puppy, please. The storms blanket the lurkers. Oh. The majority of them get picked off, but meanwhile, we have a parasitic bomb on top of all the Void Rays, and the Void Rays were left alone. And just like that, every single Void Ray was picked off, and this is devastating because SabeRLighT, his economy has been struggling. If you recall, he lost 26 probes earlier. He was denied all this mining time as well. He doesn't have a bank. He cannot rebuild what he just lost. And even in trying to rebuild, it's not the best army. It's just carriers, mate. Carriers are just so good. SabeRLighT. What I will say is I want to give props to him because you know what? He played out this game incredibly well, especially when he's up against a player of the caliber of Ryu. But when it comes to army compositions, he is definitely lacking a little bit here. Oh, the abducts go up. Disruptor and Colossus go down. And now Ryu has the high ground. Like, what's SabeRLighT? Is he going to push up a ramp into this? Oh my god, no! The High Templar! They're all going to go down! Ah, Jesus Christ. Every single High Templar gets picked off by the lurkers. And with that, GG gets called and Ryu takes the series 2-0. GG. Again though, SabeRLighT, he looks really good. There's a world out there where he wins this series 2-0. Like, both games, especially game number 1. And even here in game 2, there were plenty of moments for him. But in the end, he just couldn't clench it out. And with that, GG. Well played, Ryu. He does move on to the semifinals to face Infanson in a best of 3.